Good morning, students. Yesterday we discussed photoelectric effect and also what are the experimental observations. And today we'll discuss what are the laws of photoelectric effect. So yesterday experimental observations we have given with the graphs also for the experimental setup, and what are the experimental results or observations with the suitable graphs we have given. But all that experimental observations, so briefly if you write in the form of laws. So generally what are the laws of photoelectric effect? So generally first observation yesterday we have given photoelectric effect is an instantaneous process. So that means as soon as the light falls on the metal surface, immediately electrons are emitted from the metal surface. So one law we can write, photoelectric effect is what type of process? Instantaneous process. Photoelectric effect is an instantaneous process. That means almost there is no time lag between the incident of the photons and the emission of electrons. That's why we can say it is instantaneous process. But how much time it may take means approximately 10 to the power of minus 9 seconds or less than this time. So that is one law we can write. And the second one, yesterday we have given what is the effect of the intensity on photoelectric current. For example, for the given metal, so throughout experiment we have to use only one metal, and for the given frequency, means above threshold frequency, we have to maintain. So how the photo current depends upon the intensity? Directly proportional. More the intensity of the light, more the number of electrons emitted, and the more current also passes. So for the given metal, and a given frequency, for the given metal and a given frequency, photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of incident radiation. So here we are saying throughout the experiment we have to maintain only a single metal and also a constant frequency, that is above threshold frequency we have to maintain. Then photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of incident radiation. You can write here intensity of incident radiation, that we can write second law. So more the intensity of the radiation and more the current passes. So more the intensity, more the current passes. And third we can write one more. What is the effect of the frequency? So generally, and we also given what is a stopping potential, what is a saturation current, also yesterday given. So for the given metal and also given a frequency, saturation current also depends upon the intensity of the incident radiation. More the intensity, more the saturation current. So to stop the photoelectrons, we are applying something a potential also, which is called stopping a potential. So we can say here, for the given metal and a given intensity, stopping potential and maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectrons, depends upon frequency of the incident radiation, but not on intensity. Frequency of incident radiation, so but not on intensity of incident radiation. That also right. One more point. So check here, for the given metal, stopping a potential and the maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectrons only depends upon the frequency of the incident radiation, but not on the intensity of the incident radiation. And one more point we can write. So there exists a minimum frequency below which no photoelectrons are emitted, which is called threshold frequency. So for emission of electrons, a certain minimum frequency is required, which is called threshold frequency. So there exists a minimum frequency below which there exists a minimum frequency below which no photo emission takes place. Here, photo emission means photoelectrons are not emitted. No photo emission takes place. And this minimum frequency is called as threshold frequency. So, for the photoelectric emission, minimum frequency required, which is called as threshold frequency. Threshold frequency. So these are the important laws of the photoelectric effect. So one we can write. So there is no time lag between the incident of the photon and emission of electrons. Hence it is called instantaneous process. And second, for the given metal, for the given frequency of the radiation, means above threshold frequency, photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of incident radiation. And the third point, for the given metal and also for the given frequency, stopping potential and maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons depends upon only frequency of the radiation but not on intensity of the radiation. And the fourth point, there exists a minimum frequency below which no photoelectrons are emitted, and this minimum frequency can be called as threshold frequency. Above threshold frequency only photo emission takes place, but below threshold frequency no photo emission takes place. So it is also one important question for POC. So sometimes maybe a 3 marks or 5 marks question will be asked generally. So that is it. So next we'll go for one more concept. So almost at the end of the 19th century, we have one classical wave theory. So wave theory also tried to explain about the photoelectric effect but failed. Why wave theory failed to explain the photoelectric effect? We'll discuss that one. But later, after failure of the wave theory, next theory explained the photoelectric effect, nothing but a quantum theory. But here, why wave theory failed to explain photoelectric effect? We'll give this one. Failure of wave theory. Failure of wave theory to explain photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Why wave theory failed to explain this photoelectric effect? But generally, according to wave theory, what is the intensity of light means the amount of energy transmitted per unit area per unit time is called as intensity of the radiation. So we can write the simple formula, I is equal to E by AT. Here E means energy of the radiation and A is equal to area of cross section of the metal where the light energy falls, and T is equal to time taken, and I is equal to intensity of the light. So the amount of energy incident on the metal surface per unit area per unit time is called as intensity of the light. And one more also, intensity of the light is always depends upon square of the amplitude of the electric field vector. So we can write simply here it is equal to E naught square, where E naught is equal to amplitude of the electric vector. For example, light travels in the form of the waves. What type of waves means electromagnetic waves. So electromagnetic wave contain one electric field and one magnetic field. Both are always oscillating perpendicular to each other, but a wave traveling perpendicular to both the fields. That's why here intensity of the light wave is directly proportional to square of the amplitude of the electric field vector. So these 2 points you have to keep in your mind. So first point I'll take. So how wave theory or what wave theory imagined, but where it failed, first we have to check. So one is intensity problem. For example, I am choosing a metal surface. It is one metal surface which contains a large number of the free electrons. That's why generally we are preferring only metals for emission of the electrons. It is one metal surface, and these are the free electrons. For example, according to wave theory, whenever a radiation falls on this metal surface, like in the form of waves. So here this radiation having a suitable intensity. It is a radiation having a suitable intensity. So here whenever the radiation falls on this one means, so the energy was absorbed by the free electrons. More the intensity of the light, then more the energy falls on the metal plate, and electrons also will absorb more amount of energy, and electrons will come outside with a more kinetic energy. So what wave theory thought? So it is equal, these are the free electrons which are coming outside with a more kinetic energy. So these are the photoelectrons, and it is equal radiation, and it is a metal plate. Whenever the intensity of the radiation is more, and energy absorbed by electrons also more, and electrons emitted with a more kinetic energy. So that means according to wave theory, kinetic energy of electrons depends upon intensity of the radiation. But what experiment saying? So the maximum kinetic energy of electrons only depends upon frequency, but not on intensity. So according to wave theory, when a radiation of a higher intensity falls on the metal plate, and energy gained by electrons also maximum, and electrons ejected with the maximum kinetic energy. More the intensity of the light, more the kinetic energy of electrons. So that means according to wave theory, kinetic energy of electrons depends upon intensity of the light. But what experiment is saying means, kinetic energy does not depend upon intensity of the light, it only depends upon frequency of the light. That's why it is one of the failure. So what is intensity problem? So as intensity of the light, note down this point. According to wave theory, intensity of light depends upon square of the amplitude. Intensity of the light depends upon square of the amplitude. When a light wave of higher amplitude or higher intensity, when a light wave of higher intensity is incident on a metal surface, light of higher intensity is incident on a metal surface, the energy absorbed by electrons increases. Energy absorbed by the electrons increases, and they are ejected with more kinetic energy. They are ejected with a more kinetic energy. That is maximum Ke of photoelectrons depends upon intensity of incident light. Maximum Ke of the photoelectrons depends upon intensity of incident light. That is wave theory. What it is saying in the next line, right? But experiment proved that wave theory thought like this: Ke of electrons depends upon only intensity of the light. But what experiment saying? But experiment proved that maximum Ke of photoelectrons depends upon frequency. Maximum Ke of photoelectrons depends upon frequency, but not on intensity. So that is a first failure. And the second one, what wave theory thought and what experiment saying. Second failure we can take. And here I am choosing a metal surface, and it is a radiation falls on the metal surface. But according to wave theory, radiation travels in the form of waves. For example, if the intensity of the wave is more higher and the electrons are emitted outside, whatever may be the frequency of the light. For example, required frequency of the light is equal, according to experiment, just I am saying example, 100 hertz for example. For example, I am supplying only 10 hertz, then what will be happen? Required frequency 100 hertz, but I am supplying only 10 hertz, then no electrons emitted. But what wave theory is saying, there is no minimum frequency. Even for example, a frequency called a 10 hertz or a 5 hertz or 0 hertz, whatever the frequency of the light, if the intensity of the wave is more, electrons will be coming outside. That is the wave theory saying. But what experiment saying? There exists a minimum frequency below which no electrons are emitted. That is one more failure theory, one more failure. So that means according to wave theory, whatever may be the frequency of the radiation, if the intensity of the light is sufficient or higher, then electrons automatically emitted from the metal plate. But experiment saying, so there must be a minimum frequency required for emission of photoelectrons, which is called threshold frequency. But wave theory does not consider threshold frequency. It is saying whatever the frequency may be, electrons are emitted. That is one more problem. So okay, right, second one, frequency problem. So right, according to wave theory, when a radiation of sufficient higher intensity or sufficient higher intensity is incident on a metal surface, when a radiation of sufficient higher intensity is incident on a metal surface, photoelectrons are emitted from it. From it means from the metal surface. Photoelectrons are emitted from it. Whatever may be the photoelectrons are emitted from it, whatever may be the frequency of incident radiation, whatever may be the frequency of incident radiation, that is, there is no need of threshold frequency. That is a wave theory saying. So according to wave theory, there is no requirement of the minimum frequency. Whatever may be the frequency of the light, electrons are emitted if you are able to maintain higher intensity. So that is there is no need of threshold frequency. In the next line, but what experiment saying? But experiment proved that a minimum frequency is required. But experiment proved that a minimum frequency is required. Minimum frequency is required. In a bracket, right? Threshold frequency. That minimum frequency only we are calling as threshold frequency. A minimum frequency is required for emission of electrons. For emission of electrons. That is a second problem. So second failure, that is. Next, third one, I'll say. What is the third problem? Means the third failure of the wave theory means, check here carefully. Generally, light travels in the form of waves. For example, here also, from a particular source of light, like electric bulb or candle, whatever may take, light travels in the form of the waves like this, in the form of the wave front, like a locus. So here also I am choosing light travels in the form of the waves or wave front like this. And each and every wave or wave front is carrying something amount of energy also. For example, this wave also carrying some amount of energy. Say for example, 10 electron volt energy carried by this wave. And this metal I am taking a cesium. So if it is a cesium means, what is the minimum work function of the cesium? Pi or pi naught is equal to 2.14 electron volt. Any electron try to come outside from the metal surface, minimum how much amount of energy need to supply? 2.14 electron volt. For example, one wave of energy 10 electron volt falls on this metal plate like this. So all the free electrons will share this 10 joules of 10 electron volt of energy, not one electron. So here it is equal, energy is equal 10 electron volt. For example, all the free electrons in the metal plate are total, for example, 100 electrons are there. So 10 electron volt is shared among all the 100 electrons. For one electron, how much amount of energy may gain? So one electron means 10 by 100 is equal to 0.1 electron volt. But how much amount of energy minimum required? 2.14 required. So when a light wave of energy 10 electron volt falls on the metal plate, so this 10 electron volt energy is absorbed by all the free electrons, 100 electrons. So the amount of energy absorbed per electron per second is very small, 0.1 electron volt. So 0.1 electron volt absorbed by 1 electron means this electron will not come outside, because the electron requires minimum 2.14, but it is absorbing only 0.1 electron volt in the first step. Again, after some time, one more wave falls on the metal plate. In the second case also, electron will absorb again 0.1 electron volt. If you add both, you will get only 0.2. Also not sufficient to come outside. And the third wave, again it falls on the metal plate. It absorbs 0.1. So and so on 0.1. To acquire a total 2.14, the electron may take a lot of time. That's why whenever the radiation falls on the metal plate, immediately electrons are not emitting outside. It may take a few hours, like 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours it may take. But what experiment saying? Instantaneous process. As soon as the light falls on the metal plate, immediately electrons are coming outside. But what wave theory is saying? Whenever the light waves falls on the metal plate, the amount of energy absorbed by one electron in 1 second is very small. The electron may not come outside. To acquire sufficient energy, it may take a few hours. So it is a very slow process. For example, at 10 o'clock, light energy falls on the metal plate, but after 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours only, electrons will come outside according to wave theory. But what experiment proving? As soon as the light falls on the metal plate, immediately electrons are emitted outside. That's why there is no time lag. It is one more wave failure we can write. So that is a time problem. So you can write according to wave theory. So according to wave theory, when a light wave, according to wave theory, when a light wave falls, on the metal surface, according to wave theory, when a light wave falls on a metal surface, the energy absorbed per electron, per unit time, when a light wave falls on a metal surface, the energy absorbed per electron per unit time is so small. Energy absorbed per electron per unit time is so small to eject from the metal or from the metal surface, to eject from the metal surface. That is, photoelectric effect is a slow process. Photoelectric effect is a slow process. It may take a few hours for emission of electrons. It may take few hours for emission of electrons. Few hours for emission of electrons. It is a wave theory saying. But what experiment saying? But experiment proved that there is no time lag. There is no time lag between the incident of the light and emission of electrons. There is no time lag between the incident of light and emission of photoelectron. There is no time lag between the incident of the light and the emission of photoelectrons. So because of these three reasons, wave theory failed to explain the photoelectric effect. One is intensity problem, and one is frequency problem, and one is time problem. So all these three concepts are not explained by wave theory. That's why wave theory could not explain photoelectric effect. That is a failure of the wave theory. So sometimes it may be asked for a 3 marks question in PU level. Explain the failure of the wave theory to describe or to explain the photoelectric effect. But later the same concept was explained by Einstein by using a quantum theory. Whenever wave theory failed, so automatically quantum theory come into force, and Einstein used Max Planck's quantum theory to explain photoelectric effect. We'll go for Einstein's concept only. So generally what quantum theory is saying? So quantum theory explained photoelectric effect. So actually quantum theory was proposed by Max Planck for a black body radiation. To explain the black body radiation concept, Max Planck proposed quantum theory. But later same theory was taken by Einstein, and he also applied to the photoelectric effect, and successfully he explained. But generally what quantum theory is saying? Always electromagnetic radiation travels in the form of very small and discrete energy packets. So generally light travels in the form of the small and discrete energy packets. Radiation or light travels in the form of small and discrete energy packets. Discrete energy packets. So each energy packet can be called as quanta. Energy packets. So which are called quanta. So quantum singular and quanta plural. So this quanta are also called as nothing but photons. It is also called as photons. So quantum singular, nothing but photon. So light travels in the form of very small and discrete energy packets, and each packet can be called as a quantum or photon. And whenever the quantum traveling along the straight line, energy of each quantum is equal to h nu. Energy of each photon or each quantum is equal to h nu, where h is equal to Planck's constant and a nu frequency of the photon or frequency of the quantum. So here you can write h is equal to Planck's constant. H is equal to Planck's constant, and the value of the Planck's constant 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second in SI system, the value of the Planck's constant, and nu is equal to frequency of the radiation or quanta. So nu is equal to frequency of the radiation or quanta, and h is equal to Planck's constant, or we can also write a nu is equal to formula c by lambda, where c is equal to speed of the light and lambda is equal to wavelength of the light. So here we can also write E is equal to h nu, or E is equal to hc by lambda also we can write. So here where lambda is equal to wavelength of the photon or wavelength of the quantum, and c is equal to speed of the photon, which is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. It is equal to speed of the quantum, and the value 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So it is a quantum theory. So same quantum theory was adopted by or taken by Einstein, and he applied the same theory to photoelectric effect. And how he applied, but what Einstein thought generally, So Einstein only explained photoelectric effect. So what Einstein thought means, whenever radiation falls, radiation is nothing but photons. When one photon falls on the metal plate, the energy of the photon not distributed among all the electrons. Energy of one photon only transferred to one electron. For example, two photons falls on the metal plate. Energy of the two photons will be transferred to two electrons. 10 photons falls on the metal plate. It will be transferred to 10 electrons. So when a radiation of the suitable energy falls on the metal plate, energy of one quantum or one photon only transferred to one electron. So one photon falls on the metal plate means one electron only emitted outside. If two photons falls on the metal plate above threshold frequency, two electrons will come outside. As the number of photons increases, number of electrons also increases. So that given by Einstein. Now by proposing one equation, Einstein's photoelectric equation, he explained the photoelectric effect. Okay. Now we will discuss Einstein's photoelectric equation. Einstein's photoelectric equation. Einstein's photoelectric equation. It is also in a PU level one of the important question. So sometimes 2 marks or 3 marks may be asked. Einstein's photoelectric equation. Einstein's photoelectric equation. Einstein's photoelectric equation. So for this, to explain this equation, I'll choose any one metal surface. Why we have to choose only metal surface? It contains a large number of free electrons. So here I'm choosing one metal surface like cesium, aluminum or sodium, any one metal surface I'm choosing here. It is one metal surface and it contains a large number of the free electrons. But all the free electrons are randomly moving throughout the metal, but no electron would leave the metal surface. Why no electron would leave the metal surface? Because of the work function or because of the surface barrier. Any electron try to come outside, a minimum amount of energy required. That's why no electron will leave the metal. It is only moving randomly throughout the metal. Now, a radiation of the suitable energy falls on the metal like this. It is a radiation of suitable energy falls like this. It is a radiation like ultraviolet light or visible light, whatever may take, E is equal to H nu. Whenever a radiation of suitable energy falls on the metal plate, what will be happened? So what Einstein thought means, out of this total amount of energy, some part of energy used to eject the electrons from the metal. For example, 10 electron volt of energy falls on the metal plate. Total amount of energy 10 electron volt falls. But out of the 10 electron volt, 4 electron volt energy useful in ejecting electrons from the metal surface or throwing electrons from the metal surface. So electrons coming outside like this. So whenever one electron came outside means here how much amount of energy we are saying? 4 electron volt. So this 4 electron volt is also called as work function. The minimum amount of energy required to remove an electron from the metal surface is called as work function. So this 4 electron volt is in the form of work function. Still how much is there? Out of 10 electron volt, 4 electron volt is in the form of work function. Still 6 is there. So this remaining 6 electron volt give the maximum kinetic energy to the photoelectron. Once electron emitted from the metal plate, this electron is moving towards anode. So whenever electron moving towards anode means the electron having something speed, and also whenever it is in motion there is kinetic energy. So remaining 6 electron volt is in the form of maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectrons. So for example, total 10 electron volt I am supplying to the metal. Out of the 10 electron volt, 4 electron volt useful. Example I am saying numbers. 4 electron volt useful in ejecting electrons from the metal surface, and the remaining 6 electron volt useful giving a maximum Ke to photoelectrons. So 4 plus 6 if you add, it is equal total 10. Instead of the numbers, for example, a radiation of energy E falls on the metal plate. So in place of the 10, I am writing a E. It is a total amount of energy falls on the metal plate. In place of the 4, what you should write? Some part of energy useful in ejecting electrons from the metal surface, which is in the form of work function. So you can write pi. Remaining rest of the energy useful in giving a maximum kinetic energy to photoelectrons. So it is equal to Ke maximum, we should write. So E is equal to pi plus Ke maximum. That is Einstein explained like this. But we know already E is equal to h nu, where h is equal to Planck's constant and nu is equal to frequency of incident photon, which is equal to work function. Also we can write a similar model, energy only, h into your new place. I am writing a nu naught. What is a nu naught? Threshold frequency. The minimum frequency required to eject electrons from the metal called threshold frequency. Plus it is equal to Ke maximum means the formula half m into v square, where v is equal to speed of electron and m is equal to mass of the photoelectron. And if take a h nu naught left side, then half m into v square. Half m into v square is equal to h nu minus h nu naught. Correct? If you take h common, then what will get? Half mv square is equal to h into nu minus nu naught. So this equation is called as Einstein's photoelectric equation. So in this formula, m is equal to mass of the photoelectron and v maximum is equal to maximum speed of the photoelectron and h Planck's constant, nu frequency of the incident photon, and nu naught is equal to threshold frequency of the given metal. So this equation is called as Einstein's photoelectric equation. So we can write here, no need to use these numbers. So what we can say means, according to Einstein, when a radiation of suitable energy falls on a metal plate, it is utilized in two ways. First one, some part of energy is used to eject photoelectrons. And second point, rest of the energy is used to give maximum Ke to the photoelectrons. Rest of the energy is used to give maximum Ke to the photoelectrons. So now we can write here, energy of the radiation or energy of the photon is equal to 2 points we said. One is some part of energy is used to eject photoelectrons, that is also called as work function. Plus second point, rest of the energy used to give maximum kinetic energy to photoelectrons. That's why here you should write energy of the incident radiation is equal to work function plus maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons. Here energy of the radiation I am writing E. symbol of energy of the photon or energy of the quantum is equal to E, is equal to work function of the metal is equal to, write a pi naught, or we can write a W naught, anyone, plus maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectrons, right here Ke maximum, should write like this, Ke maximum. But here in place of the E, I'll write H nu, energy of the incident photon, E is equal to H nu, where H is a Planck's constant and a nu frequency of the photon. But the work function of the metal is equal to formula H into nu naught. Here also nu naught is a threshold frequency, H Planck's constant. But we know kinetic energy of the photoelectron is equal to formula half m v square, where m is equal to mass of the electron and v is equal to speed of the electron. So take this H nu naught left side. That implies half m v square is equal to h into nu minus h into nu naught. Therefore, half m v square maximum is equal to, take a h common, h into nu minus nu naught. So the above equation, this above equation is known as Einstein's photoelectric equation. Above equation is known as Einstein's photoelectric equation. Einstein's photoelectric equation. So sometimes a question may be asked, write Einstein's photoelectric equation and explain the symbols. So writing this formula, 1 mark, equation 1 mark will be given, and what are the symbols means m, mass of the photoelectron, and v maximum, maximum speed of the photoelectron, h Planck's constant, and a nu frequency of the incident photon, and a nu naught threshold frequency. So this equation called Einstein's photoelectric equation. And by using this equation, how Einstein explained photoelectric effect. So right, next one, Einstein's explanation. Einstein's explanation. Einstein's explanation of photoelectric effect. Einstein's explanation of photoelectric effect. How he explained photoelectric effect by using this equation. So first point we can write. So generally, what experiment also saying, photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of the light. More the intensity means more the current passes, correct? So what Einstein thought means, whenever a radiation of the suitable energy falls on the metal plate, so here energy of the photon transferred to how many electrons? When one photon of a suitable energy falls on the metal plate, this energy transferred to how many electrons? Only one electron. So whenever a photon of suitable energy falls on the metal plate, so energy of the photon only transferred to a single electron. That means if it is above work function, only one electron will come outside from the metal surface. So as the number of photons increases, then number of photoelectrons also increases. So that means the number of photoelectrons directly proportional to number of photons. Here we can use one point. Here intensity of the light is equal to formula energy per unit area per unit time, correct? But energy formula according to quantum theory, h nu for one photon. If n photons given, we can write the formula n into h nu by a into t. We can write the formula. Observe carefully. So generally, intensity of the light is equal to energy per unit area per unit time. I is equal to E by A into T. But energy according to quantum theory, number of photons n into h into nu. For all the given parameters kept constant, how the intensity of the light depends upon the number of photons? Directly proportional. More the number of photons, then or more the intensity of the light, more the number of photons. Less be the intensity of the light, less be the number of photons. Here it is a relation between the intensity and number of photons. Correct? Number of photons I am taking here. Next, current formula if you take, current is equal to general formula charge by time. I is equal to formula we can write Q by T. The rate of flow of charge is called electric current. So I is equal to formula Q by T. But charge is equal to always number of electrons into charge of electron by time we can write general formula. So current is equal to charge by time Q by T, but Q is equal to 1 electron flowing through the circuit 1 E by T, 2 electrons flowing 2 E by T, n electrons flowing then n E by T. How the current and number of electrons related? Directly proportional. So current is directly proportional to the number of electrons we can write. More the number of electrons, more the current. More the number of photons, more the intensity of the light. So observe these two equations carefully. Say it is for example first one, it is equal to second one. If you compare these two, what we can observe generally? Check here, current I is directly proportional to the number of electrons. Second equation, current is directly proportional to number of electrons. But here, number of electrons always directly proportional to number of photons. More the photons falls on the metal plate, more electrons will come outside. That's why number of electrons are proportional to number of photons. But a number of photons are proportional to intensity of the light. So we can write here intensity of the light. Check this equation carefully. How Einstein explained the first point means generally whenever radiation of the suitable energy falls on the metal plate, so the energy of one photon only transferred to one electron. So as the number of photons falls on the metal plate increases, number of photoelectrons also increases. That's why here more the intensity of the light, more the number of photons. More the number of photons means more the photoelectrons. More the photoelectrons means more the current passes. That's why here a photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of the light. That is a explanation given by Einstein. You can write 1 point. When a radiation of suitable energy falls on a metal plate, when a radiation of suitable energy falls on a metal plate, the energy of one photon, when a radiation of suitable energy falls on a metal plate, the energy of one photon only transferred to one electron. When a radiation of suitable energy falls on a metal plate, the energy of one photon only transferred to one electron. If intensity of the radiation increases, if the intensity of radiation increases, the number of photons increases, intensity of the incident radiation increases, the number of photons increases, and the number of photoelectrons increases, number of photoelectrons increases, and hence photoelectric current also increases, and hence photoelectric current also increases. That is photoelectric current. That is a photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of incident radiation. Photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of incident radiation. So that explanation given by Einstein, first point. If required, you may also write like this for this, but in the exam no need to write this explanation. We can write here intensity. We can write the formula intensity I is equal to E by AT. In this formula, E means energy of the radiation, A area of cross section of the metal, and T time. That implies I is equal to, but according to quantum theory, already we know energy E is equal to h nu for 1 photon. For n photons, you should write n into h nu by A into T. In this formula, for the given frequency, for the given area of cross section of the metal, I proportional to n photon, you should write equation 1. But electric current formula I'll write here. Electric current I is equal to Q by T. But Q is equal to nothing but charge and T is equal time. By the definition, the rate of flow of charge is called electric current. Q plus I am writing a number of electrons into charge of electron divided by T. For the given time, here I proportional to Ne. Ne means nothing but suffix E I am writing number of electrons. Second equation. From 1 and 2, we can write this formula. From 1 and 2, I proportional to Ne, proportional to n photons, proportional to I. So, if the intensity of the radiation increases, number of photons increases, corresponding number of photoelectrons increases, and photoelectric current also increases. That's why photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of incident radiation. That is the first explanation given by Einstein. But wave theory failed this one. But Einstein explained by using quantum theory. Second, one more we can write. Photoelectric effect is mainly due to a collision. There is a collision. So check here. I am choosing a metal surface here, and it is a photoelectron, and it is a photon. Whenever radiation falls on this metal plate, radiation falls on this metal plate like this. It is electron, and it is a photon. So both the particles are fundamental particles or basic particles. They do not depend upon any other. So photon is a fundamental particle, electron also fundamental particle. When a photon strikes the metal plate, it is colliding the electron. So that means there is a collision between the photon and electron. What type of collision? We have two type of collisions in the first year given, elastic and inelastic. All the collisions between the fundamental particles is elastic collision. So according to Einstein, photoelectric effect is mainly due to elastic collision between the photon and electron. That's why there is no time lag or time gap between the incident of the photon and emission of electron. That's why what type of process is it? Instantaneous process. We can write second point. So photoelectric effect is due to photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect is due to elastic collision. Photoelectric effect is due to elastic collision between a photon and an electron. Photon and an electron. So elastic collision means here what are conserved generally? Both momentum and energy, kinetic energy are conserved. That's why here also the total energy falls on the metal plate is equal to work function of the metal plus kinetic energy of the photoelectron. That's why here also energy is always conserved. That's why we can say it is an instantaneous process. So it is an instantaneous process or sudden process. It is an instantaneous process. So there is no time lag between the incident of the photon and the emission of electrons. It is only 10 power minus 9 seconds. That explanation given by Einstein. One more important point we can write here. Third point, Einstein's photoelectric equation. We have the formula Ke maximum is equal to formula H into nu minus nu naught. And half mv square is equal to H into nu minus nu naught. So Ke maximum or half mv square is equal to h into nu minus nu naught. So check in this case. For example, the frequency of the incident photon nu is equal to frequency of the incident photon is less than the threshold frequency. For example, it is a given metal. So the required frequency of the metal is equal to nu naught, which is called threshold frequency. The radiation which falls on the metal is equal to nu, but required value is equal to, for example, 100 hertz. But we are supplying a nu is equal to only 10 hertz. Then what will be happen? No electron will emit from the metal surface. Check this equation. So Ke maximum is equal to h into nu minus nu naught. If nu is equal to 10 hertz, but nu naught is equal to 100 hertz, so 10 minus 100 is equal to minus 90. So kinetic energy will never be negative. So if kinetic energy negative means it is impossible. That's why no photoelectron emitted from the metal surface. So that explanation given by Einstein. If nu less than nu naught, then Ke maximum is negative. Ke maximum is negative. So Ke maximum negative means the speed of the electron also negative, but which is impossible. Ke maximum is negative, which is impossible. Which is impossible. Hence, no photo emission takes place, or no photoelectrons emitted from the metal surface. No photo emission takes place. No photo emission takes place. And the last one more point I'll give. Last one. If, for example, the frequency of the incident photon is greater than the threshold frequency, required value 100 hertz, but we are supplying a total 200 hertz, then Ke maximum is equal to h into 200 minus 100, will get plus 100. So Ke maximum positive, and the speed of electron also positive, then electrons are emitted outside. So photo emission possible. Here you can write, if nu greater than nu naught, then Ke maximum is a positive and photo emission takes place. Photo emission takes place. So in this way, Einstein explained the photoelectric effect by using photoelectric equation, his equation only, but experimentally it was verified by Millikan. In next class we'll discuss remaining concepts.